Hi, it's Adam Drummond here from WaggaWagga.tv. It's the online TV show about people, places and property. And today I'm joined by someone I'm a little bit chuffed about this because he's one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Australia. In fact, up until his 30th birthday, he was the richest person in Australia under 30. Don't blush, it's true. He has gone on to be the CEO and founder of Kogan.com, one of the most successful online shopping sites in the world. He's here with me right now to talk tech. He's a self-confessed, what do you call yourself, a tech
Computer geek?
Computer geek, tech geek. It is, of course, Ruslan Kogan. Thanks for coming on WaggaWagga.tv.
Thank you.
And thanks for being here in Wagga Wagga as well. It's your first time?
It is. Simone emailed me a little while ago from 365cups.com and invited me, and she, in her email she said, "Oh no, you're probably going to say no." And I like to prove people wrong, so I replied going, yeah, I'll do it.
She told me about this creative email, and she said that it's pretty cool, and that's why you responded to it. Because I'm assuming you get approaches from a lot of people to do gigs, and you've waived your normal fee to come here to Wagga Wagga and talk to these guys.
Well, normally if places are offering a fee for a talk, then I decline them because I don't have enough time in a day, so my time's not for sale. Usually the talks where I can help inspire a crowd at universities, entrepreneur conferences, that's the stuff that I get along to. So,
and you're passionate about it,
yeah,
obviously.
I like helping the business community and entrepreneurs. I think businesses make the world a better place.
Yep.
And anything that can be done to help them is great. Like, you have politicians taking credit all the time for creating jobs. They say, oh, we created 700 jobs, or we created 400 jobs here. Not a single politician has ever created a job. All they do is allocate capital. They'll take it from here and they'll put it there. Businesses create jobs.
Yep.
Google's got 300,000 employees. These are jobs that have never existed before. Same with Twitter, Facebook, 365cups.com. These are all businesses creating jobs, and that makes the world a better place. So the more people out there thinking about a business, the better.
Yeah.
And any product or service you interact with that makes the world a better place, whether it be the medicine that you take at a pharmacy, or the clothes that you wear, or the car you use to get to work. Every one of these products or services that enhances our lives has a business person behind it losing sleep thinking, how do I make it better?
Yep.
So if I can help contribute to that, then it's a win.
It's part of the whole economic cycle. Now, a lot of the people who are watching this will probably know a fair bit about your background. I mean, I've heard the phrase used from garage to global quite a bit when they're talking about Ruslan Kogan. And I've also heard the Nike slogan used when people talk about you, because it's just do it. And that's what you did. You just did it. What's stopping people from doing that in this day and age with technology at their fingertips? Why do people still procrastinate, do you think?
Yeah, interesting you say that. I'll give the camera a sneak peek at my t-shirt.
Oh. It looks like we pre-arranged that, and I had no idea what was on his shirt. But how about that? Simone earlier had something on her shirt, and you've got that on yours. Yeah. Awesome.
Look, a lot of people out there come up with great ideas, and to me, an entrepreneur is an inventor and an athlete in one.
Yep.
So you've got to invent a product or service that enhances people's lives, and then the athlete bit kicks in, and that's having to work your butt off to make it happen. Now, a lot of people forget the athlete part of entrepreneurship, and Nike's a sporting brand, and it's so related to athletes. They've got Just Do It on their t-shirts, and it's really important because too many people have great ideas. And I'll see them 6 months after they told me what their idea was, and I'll be like, how's business going? And they'll be like, oh, what business? They had an awesome idea, then did nothing about it. So the just do it is extremely important when it comes to entrepreneurship and the business world.
And you mentioned something that a lot of people don't like talking about. It's hard work. A lot of people think that there's these magic pills out there, these little formulas to success, but it's not like that, is it? You've started up, 20 odd businesses. None of them would have been like that. Yeah,
look, it's funny when I hear people say like, oh, I'm sick and tired of the 40-hour work week, I'm going to go start a business. Or I'm sick and tired of reporting to my manager and having a boss, I'm going to go start my own business.
Yep.
I went from reporting to one manager in the corporate world to now reporting to over 80 million people in Australia and the UK. So
no wonder you're busy.
Yeah, so you don't start a business because you want to work less or because you want to be or you want to be less accountable
Yep.
for your actions. And that's what a lot of people get wrong. The last time I worked 40 hours in a week was when I was in the corporate world at Accenture. So the good thing is about the position I'm in now is I absolutely love what I'm doing,
Yep.
but it's a lot of hard work.
And that's the key, isn't it? I think you've got to find what it is you love doing, be good at it, follow through. But you hear that expression all the time, time is money. Do you believe that time is just money, or is time actually happiness?
Yeah, time is the most precious commodity that we have.
Yep.
Everything else you can make. Time can't be money because you can make money, you can't make time.
Yep.
So we're all, no matter how rich we are, we've all got the same constraints.
Yeah.
60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 168 hours in a week.
Yeah.
That doesn't change no matter what your bank balance is. So time is more important than money. And that's why it's extremely important to be doing what you love.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie About Time?
No.
You should get that out. You'll love it.
All right.
That's it. From the guy that did 4 Weddings and a Funeral. It's beautiful, beautiful film, and I wept all the way through. I needed a chamois, not Kleenex. Now, mate, there's an expression that you use. Quite often we hear things like unique selling proposition. The expression you use, of course, is core competitive advantage. And yet I find that even though we as business owners know that we should have one, we don't have one, or if we have one, we don't know how to articulate it. Why is that?
Yeah. I'm not sure why it is, but it's extremely important.
Yep.
And all business people have to know what their core competitive advantage is, because that's what differentiates them in the marketplace.
Yep.
That's what makes them different from their competitors. It's what gives a consumer a reason to want to interact with that business. And it's also important to identify, because then in your marketing, you have to flaunt your core competitive advantage. And if you look at any successful business in the world, you can reel off business names at me and I'll tell you within seconds what their core competitive advantage is. And that's why it's extremely important in business. And it's also why a lot of bricks and mortar retailers are struggling.
Yep.
Because their core competitive advantage used to be one thing and then that got taken away from them. They all used to talk about having the best prices and the biggest range. That's simply not true anymore. Online has the best prices and the biggest range.
That's
No
right.
single retailer in the world has a bigger range than when you do a search on google.com.
Yep.
So any retailer you see out there that markets the fact that they have a big range is very confused and they need a new marketing manager.
Yeah, a lot of them say that they've got the best service as well, and of course everyone's got service.
But they could have the best service. That's one area where a bricks and mortar retailer could be better than an online retailer.
Of course, yeah, because quite often you go to online and you don't have any service at all. It's just you and your mouse clicking away. You walk into a shop and there's human interaction.
Exactly. Or if I was going to buy bed sheets, for instance, I'm the sort of person who I'd rather walk into a shop and speak to an expert that knows all the stuff and explain all the 1,000 and 2,000 thread count and Egyptian cotton and all of that stuff to me. And if they know what they're talking about, I'll make a purchase in a shop, even though I can get it online for half the price. I don't have the time to do a Google search and spend a couple of hours becoming an expert in different types of upholstery and bed sheets and all of that sort of stuff.
So that's how the bricks and mortar businesses can actually compete with the online
Definitely.
transaction. A lot of people are whinging about it, saying, oh no, it's killing my business and I'm going downhill, but they're being quite pessimistic. They can change their own sales.
Yeah, they have to say, well, our competitive advantage used to be the fact that we're the only shop in this area selling this product.
Yep.
That got taken away from us when online retail became available.
Yep.
What is our competitive advantage going to be moving into the future? And there's a few of them. There's a store in Melbourne that it sells sports stuff and tennis equipment, and they've got a tennis court out the back and tennis pros working in the store. I go to the store, I have a hit, they explain different stuff to me. You can have a hit on the tennis court, you can try the equipment out, and then I make a purchase there and I buy my tennis racket from there because I just tried it out. I could never do that online.
No.
So
not without a Wii or something like where you actually, but that's not the same thing,
exactly.
is it?
So they've clearly said, well, our competitive advantage now, considering that people can buy any tennis racket they want online, is the fact that when you come to our store, you get to have a hit with a tennis pro who will give you the right recommendation, and our recommendation is going to be better than any research you can do online.
Well, that's not even service, that's beyond service, that's an experience that you
Exactly.
get. Now, I mentioned earlier, touched on it, that you've started up no fewer than about 20 odd businesses since you were 10 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. If you could go back in time and learn from some of the mistakes that I'm sure you've made, and also learn from the successes that you've made, Ruslan Kogan goes back in a time machine, what is it that you would change about some of those areas?
Yeah, look, one that comes to mind straight away is I would have purchased the Kogan.com domain name
Right.
as soon as I started
Somebody
Kogan.
else had it.
So we ended up buying it a few years in for a number with lots of zeros on the end of
Yeah,
it.
sure.
So it's important for a business.
That was grants.
It's important for a business to secure its intellectual property.
Yep.
Early on in the piece. Now, I wasn't thinking when I started Kogan that, this might go global. And I bought Kogan.com.au.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had to buy Kogan.co.uk off somebody else. But Kogan.com came at a pretty hefty price tag.
Yep.
And as a result of that, that's not money we would have had to pay elsewhere. So secure your intellectual property. With other things, look, a business person makes hundreds of decisions a day.
Yep.
I like to think that most of the decisions I get right, but you make a few mistakes along the way, there's no doubt. The most important thing is to ensure that every single mistake is a learning experience.
Yep.
And you look at it and you say, what did I do wrong? Why was it wrong? How do I ensure this doesn't happen again? And then you implement a process for it. And it's so true in business. That saying that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
For every mistake you make and survive, you become a much better business for it.
Fantastic. And you're talking tonight to over 200 local business people from Wagga Wagga. What sort of pearls of wisdom do you have up your sleeve tonight for these local businesses?
Yeah, I wouldn't call them pearls of wisdom. What I'll do tonight is I'll talk through the startup story of Kogan.
Yep.
With the Kogan startup story, there's a lot of times when someone could have looked at the situation and said, this is too hard or this is impossible, and walked away. And, I was young, really motivated and dedicated at the time, and managed to make it happen. And hopefully by sharing this story with a few people, I can help inspire a few people in the room to take that next step.
Yep.
So that when they do go to start their business venture or an existing business that they're currently running, it can spark a bit of that athlete, bit of entrepreneurship in them, and they'll say, you know what, I can do it, I will do it.
And when they hear about your background, because it literally is, and I know it's a cliche to say, but the rags to riches that seems to personify your background. When they hear that you could do it, it is possible literally for anybody to do it if they take the calculated risk and just do it.
Exactly. It is possible for anyone, and I don't like the expression rags to riches, because it's sort of it makes it sound like it just instantly happened
overnight.
It's not like one day I was living in the housing commission flats in public housing, bought a lottery ticket, and then won lots of money.
Yeah, that's rags to riches.
Yeah. This is it took me 31 years to become an overnight success. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of 100-hour weeks.
It's rags to sweat to riches.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's sweat in the middle.
Rags to sweat to riches is a much more accurate description of what it takes to run a successful business.
And now that you're there, once a little boy selling, lemonade or something, you started selling stuff as a 10-year-old. You're dreaming big back then, but you probably, like most of us, wouldn't imagine where you'd be now. What do you do with your downtime now that you can do whatever you want? What does Ruslan Kogan do when he's not working?
I don't get too much downtime, but look, my whole life is downtime essentially, because I absolutely love what I'm doing. So when people say to me, how many hours a week do you work? I tell them 0. I don't work, I live this stuff. In reality, I'm probably connected to the internet and on my laptop or phone about 80 to 100 hours a week.
Yep.
people see me check in on Facebook in all these different places, and Maldives and Greek islands and LA and New York, and they think life's all glamorous.
Business trips.
Yeah. You know? All I'm doing is using a different Wi-Fi connection. So when I'm in the Maldives, I'm still doing the same thing. I'm on my emails and working a lot, except when I go for a break, it's out in the water and I get a better view while I'm typing the emails. So yeah, there's not too much downtime in that sense, but if I can spare a bit of time, it's number one priority is make it to mum's house for dinner.
Yes.
Try to do that at least a few times a week.
I thought you were going to say a year then, and I thought, hang on.
Yeah, I'd be dead. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to be here today if it was a few times a year. So that's priority number one.
Great.
Hanging out with mates, meet them every weekend for brekkie, go for coffees. We love going fishing, so go camping by the river and catch a few fish or out on a boat. That sort of stuff is what I really enjoy.
Enjoying those simple things in life, which is usually about relationships and the people that you care about.
And that's the most important stuff, No matter how much money you've got in the bank account, it doesn't increase your chances of a fish coming along to take the bait once you've cast the rod. So
amazing.
So, and that's the most exciting thing in life for me. When the fish are biting, that's awesome.
Well, mate, I know you say that there's not going to be too many pearls of wisdom, but I know that there will be massive nuggets of wisdom that come from the story that is Ruslan Kogan. Thank you so much for being on the show, mate. It's a pleasure to have you in Wagga Wagga, and we hope to have you back soon one day.
Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you. So this is Adam Drummond from WaggaWagga.tv, the online TV show about people, places and property, and this one's brought to you by Livestream Australia. See you next time.